Hey folks, James here from Sweet Pea Machine Embroidery. Thread aches are something to avoid at all costs when enjoying a fun session of machine embroidery. Over the years at Sweet Pea HQ, we have gained plenty of knowledge and personal experience using all types of thread on all types of machine embroidery projects. To be able to put together a helpful little list of things you can do to avoid common problems when using thread. Tip number 1, avoid old thread. Avoid using old thread on your embroidery machine. Even though you may think that buying a large box of vintage thread on sale is a good idea, it might turn out to be quite the opposite. Even though a thread may look just fine, it can turn out to be too old to do the job and result in uneven colouring, shredding and breakage. Tip number 2, avoid damaged or worn needles. Needles wear out, especially if you're frequently enjoying your embroidery machine, or when using metallic or abrasive threads. A worn needle eye may put pressure and stress on your thread. Tip number 3, check the stitch plate. The stitch plate is where the thread goes in the machine to perform a stitch. Rub your finger along the plate to check for any snags or rough spots. In machine embroidery, your thread moves in all directions, and the thread can come in contact with a rough spot that hadn't been an issue with regular stitching. Tip 4, tension. The tension of your machine is important when stitching. Too tight and it puts stress on the thread and causes it to snap. If it's too loose, it causes excess thread, which can result in a thread loop to collapse or missing stitches. Tip 5, grabby threads. Some threads are thicker or more dense than others and have a tendency to grab and shred, especially if there's a lot of layered stitching, backtracking or really dense design. Tip number 6, check the upper thread path. Sometimes a thread can flip itself around something as you stitch. It can work itself out of the take-up lever, or it could be incorrectly threaded or obstructed. Tip number 7 is the bobbin damaged. Check your bobbin case for nicks, scratches and rough spots. The top thread has to pass around the case in order to form a stitch. This needs to be smooth in order for the thread to pass through undamaged. This is often caused by needle breakage or an incorrect insertion of the bobbin case. Tip number 8, fabric flagging. There are a number of causes for fabric flagging, often caused by incorrect or no backing, incorrect presser foot height, bad hooping, hoop vibration, dense designs or a damaged needle. The result is generally the same and are the most common reasons for the thread shredding. Tip number 9, how is your thread unwinding? Often, how your thread is being unwound from the spool will have an impact on breakage. If it is a straight wound spool, it is meant to come off straight from the side. It may not like the extra twist that has been given by spooling the thread off the top, or if it's a slippery thread. It may be getting tangled around the spool pin and or benefit from a thread net. The final and most important tip is use high quality thread. After years of trial and error, we have created our own Incredi thread. It is a high caliber, high strength polyester 2-ply multi-filament thread that is lustrous, dazzling and colour fast. It is perfect for applique and embroidery on clothing or garments that you'll wash regularly. Our Incredi thread is not just a wonderful thread for sewing, it is a combination sewing machine and embroidery machine thread. Get yours on our website today, sweetpea.com, that is SWPEA.com. We hope that we have saved a few thread aches today. If you have any other helpful hints or tips for saving thread from breaking or shredding, please be sure to let us know in the comments section below. Thank you for watching, like and subscribe.